Hello everyone. I'm going to be talking to you about the most recent trip I took over summer vacation and how much fun I had. I can come up with a large list of reasons for me being who I am today, but the one that influenced me the most was going camping every couple of months until I was about 12 years old with my family. Recently, I went back to that same spot with my boyfriend. We packed our bags and headed to Old Man's Cave for the weekend. We decided to pitch our tent in the most secluded spot so that no one would bother us. Our days consisted of seeing all sorts of animals, going hiking through the caves, and relaxing by the fire. We heard many different animal noises throughout our stay. While we were pitching our tent, we could hear the birds singing and the crickets chirping. One bird made a noise that sounded like a lady screaming, laughing, and it scared the dickens out of me. After we set up our campsite, we decided to make a fire and cook some food, because making fire and eating are my favorite things to do. By this time, it was dark. We could no longer hear the birds singing, but we could hear the crickets, the bullfrogs, and footsteps. We found out later that those footsteps were from a raccoon who ended up visiting us every single night, trying to find a snack. We named him Sparky, and he taught us to always put our food away at night. Not only did we save our food from him, but also from the rain that poured down while we were sleeping. Speaking of pouring down rain, that's exactly what happened at the end of our hike the next day. We woke up in the morning, had a breakfast, and headed out to the cave. We didn't think it was going to rain, so we took the extra long trip. There was a cliff with a huge waterfall, and we were able to climb to the bottom and into the cove, where we could hear echoes of people. I remember in that exact cove, my brother and I used to flip rocks over and try to catch salamanders. Then we figured we would finish our hike by going to a tower and climbing to the top. When we got to the top, we could see over everything, and it was beautiful. As we were climbing down, it began to pour down rain, so we hurried to the bottom. When we got to the bottom, we tried to hide under a big tree, and then we realized that we forgot to put away our paper towels, our paper plates, and our chairs. So we decided that we would run back to our campsite. As we were running back, it was all muddy and we were sliding everywhere. It stopped raining when we got back to the campsite, and the only things that ended up getting wet were our chairs, so we made a fire and put them by it to dry. After they dried, we cooked hamburgers on the grill and roasted marshmallows by the fire. After we were done eating, we decided to sit by the campfire and listen to the crackling of the fire, and we could feel the complete solitude of being in nature. It felt great to just relax and embrace being isolated in the woods. After sitting and talking for a couple of hours, we decided to go to sleep in the tent. We were almost asleep when we heard a noise. It was Sparky. We think he came back to say goodbye. We woke up the next morning sad to leave, but promised to come back again soon. I've always loved being outside, listening to the nature, making bonfires, and relaxing, hiking in the woods. Going on this trip really brought back memories of going camping with my family. And I'm glad I got to share them with my best friend. I can't wait to go back in the spring and pitch a tent in the same exact spot. And I can't wait for our next adventure in the Smoky Mountains over spring break. Thank you.
Very good. Did you make it?
No.
Now you can smile, Andrew.
I recall going too fast again and I was like, uh-oh.